Hi guys, this is Rahul Dadheech. I'm Vice President in DLF. I look forward to see you all from 4th of 6th November at JWCC Mumbai for ORGATEC India exhibition on Empowering the Future is the title of that. Let's see it here. Okay. So, before I answer that question, I must tell a little bit about DLF. We are essentially the largest developer of India, largest commercial developer of India. We are also the most compliant and most sustainable. A significant portfolio of DLF is certified with net zero. Some of our properties in Hyderabad, Chennai are zero discharge property when it comes to water. Most of our properties are IGBC and USGBC Platinum certified. So sustainability is something which is in our blood. We have been endeavoring to ensure that we give it back to the planet. That's about DLF as a product, as a company. In terms of what we have done in the recent time, what we endeavor to undertake is the first is the energy management, because we all know the numbers, statistics, the commercial buildings consume almost 40% of the energy. So if we are able to contain that part of it, I think that's going to be the biggest help to the planet as well as to the sustainability and clean building. So most of our buildings, in fact all of our buildings which are commercial, have got renewable energy blockchain. We have also ensured that all our establishment, our services are to the latest what is available in the market, as well as they are compliant to the latest code. In this case, in India is the latest NDC as well as IGBC. So that's about the sustainability and the work that we have undertaken for it. Also, not to forget that our entire portfolio of commercial living as well as super luxury is certified by WELL AP. So that's about again sister green building, wherein the wellness is again an important aspect that our organization is leading for. To answer your question first, how FM has evolved from typical management of basic laundry, general security operations and horticulture, etc., to facility management, which is a far more complex job. Over the years, what we have realized is initially, we probably 10 to 15 years back, we started with managing the lower strata of the job. Pre-COVID, during the COVID and post-COVID, there have been a significant change of pace for FM. People have started realizing the potential that we all as the management team and the vertical challenge. It's no more that they need to undertake the basic job. Right now, the focus is on people. The focus is on not just the cost optimization anymore. Earlier, when it comes to FM, it used to be like, let's try to minimize the cost, let's try to save the money, reduce this, that, and now the focus is on how we can get the best work and that environment for the occupiers. The companies are shifting from what used to be the practice to a practice wherein employee welfare, employee well-being are being taken care of. Need not to mention that in NCR, the biggest challenge is air quality. So now, earlier it used to be 3 to 4 months from post-Diwali till peak of winter. That's not the case. Last month, we might have seen that we had a notification from government stating that certain NCAP was already GREP 1 was implemented. Today, as we speak, probably AQI is 10, wherein the limits are around 50. So now this has become throughout the year business. So more at that 4 months. So So the focus again for the companies to retain the best talent is to ensure that they are able to provide the best possible environment as they are in office. So naturally it comes from FM industry or the facility management. So that's where the entire paradigm shift has been from the traditional workplaces to other side. Coming back to ESG, now it used to be a mandate at some point of time, but now the companies themselves have started upgrading into this. They are concerned about the environment. They are worried about how they are being perceived in the global outlook as an organization. So socially as governance, most of these companies are the bigger ones I'm talking about are either listed or going to be listed. So ESG one way is becoming in a mandate as well. Or other side, companies themselves are coming as a volunteer to declare their goals, to work on ESG part of it. We have seen many REIT coming up. We have seen most of these big companies coming in a big way to ensure that the ESG compliances are being taken care of. Not all of them publish a report, but most of these companies, the bigger ones, the real estate companies, the IPCs, the REIT funds, then the companies like the investment funds who are coming in Brookfield, Blackstone, etc. They are so changing the overall field of what used to be a standalone commercial spaces or retail spaces. Now we are moving into far more organized space. So this shift from standalone to organized is also ensuring that these compliances are taken more seriously with these larger players coming into the picture. Okay, so in our commercial buildings, we have implemented most of these systems. Building management system is something which has been happening for the last 10 to 15 years. But now the BMS itself has upgraded to IBMS, Integrated Business Building Management System. It's not just add of I that makes difference. For difference it makes us. It's no more a standalone system which is meant to cover the air condition part of the building. Right now, the entire ecosystem within the building management is covered by virtue of that. Just to put the things into perspective, the plumbing system. We used to face a significant challenge, the overflow of the water. The plumber would start the pump in the basement, the water will go to overhead tanks. Not all of them will fill simultaneously. Some of them will fill in advance, and those who are pending, the water will be overflow. That's not the case anymore now. We have what smart systems. So smart systems would ensure firstly all these the overhead tanks are filled in such a way whichever has got more vacancy or is empty more will get burst more water and so forth. So firstly our pumps running will reduce, as well as all these pumps will stop as and when those tanks are filled. So that's a pretty pro example or from linear perspective. But what it does is saves tons of water, tons of domestic water getting wasted, and that water once gone, it is gone for good. Places like NCR where we have seen that water level is a big challenge, buildings were consuming significant water. Second, what in the recent time has been undertaken is we have ensured that the raw water is used in the most minimum way. For example, all these reverse osmosis plants, we call RO plants in general, we ensure that the wastewater of RO is being used. We don't allow a single drop of, even in the residential complexes, now we have ensured that people become conscious to use that wastewater for the plantation. We have installed pipelines to ensure that those water comes back to our system rather than going back. And I'm not talking about something STP, this is a pretty norm now, 10-15 years, everyone will lose that. So I'm talking about something which is not normal. Just to give you another example, in our commercial spaces, the residual condensate water. So when an air condition is on in AHU, there's some water that condenses in our homes as well. We see some. That water is even used by us to ensure that's the purest form of water. It comes from the moisture of the air. So that water is again reused. why it looks as if it's going to be a smaller quantity, but that's not the case. When you talk about buildings of 2 million square feet and air conditions of almost 3 to 4,000 tons, so the quantum of water you can consume it produces, and that can be used, and that water was going waste. So we are using that. One of the variant that we have done is as in when the air condition comes back after cooling the entire workspaces, we use them to cool the floors. So the buildings are designed and constructed in such a way that water which once returns back, it does cool the floor so that the additional common area cooling gets enhanced. So these are 3, 4, 5 examples where with the help of IoT, integrated building management systems and other newer technologies, we have been able to ensure that our water consumption get reduced significantly. Our energy is reduced. I am not talking about the basic thing, LEDs, motion sensors, proximity sensors. These are all things we have been doing for many years now. So now, for what we used to do for 5 years back, and now we have to be more innovative. A newer form of innovation, a newer form of ideas, newer form of improvement has to come into place so that we are dynamic in our approach and we keep moving on the right direction when it comes to green building and sustainability.